Alright, today we're going to be building the Jeep Wrangler at Kmart. We're also going to be showing you how to do the new fixture out on the sales floor. So to begin with, I've already unpacked this out of the box. I've laid out all of the parts that we need. You can see there's a couple of different size screws, so I separated those, used the hood to hold down the screws. This is actually one of the easiest full-size Power Wheels to build. I think you guys will be really pleased with how much easier it is than the Dune Racer. Little does Pat Denninger know, she is actually going to be the one building this today, and I'm just going to be walking her through it.
Great.
So here we have my assistant, Pat Denninger. She's very thrilled about doing this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by putting on the decals onto the dashboard. Makes it easier to apply than when waiting till the dashboard is assembled to the vehicle. You can put down the speedometer, you can put down the air conditioning vents in this location. There's also a speaker that goes there and a radio sticker that goes in that location. Alright, after you put the decals on, the first step would be to mount the dashboard to the actual Jeep Rubicon. It uses 5 of these pointy screws. Pat has already installed the first one in that corner. Now she will install the other ones. One goes here, and then another 2 on this corner. Alright, so once you have the dashboard installed, the next step is to put on the windshield. All you do is line that up in the grooves, and then hit it from the top, and you'll hear it snap into place. Alright, we've already installed the seat partially. The seat just lines up into those grooves and then folds back. You now take one of the pointy screws and use it in this hole right here. Alright, we're going to kind of go off of what the instructions tell us to do now. We're going to put the roll bars on either side of the seat. And one screw goes into there. The screw that's used is the machine screw with the blue paint on the threads. Alright, repeat the same thing for the other roll bar. Okay, once you have both of the roll bars assembled, it is now time for the steering. These are the parts that you will need. You'll need the 2 long screws, the pin, the steering wheel, the cap, and the steering column. The easiest thing to do with this is to flip the vehicle on its end. The steering column is then inserted tab first through this slot, down through this slot, and just drop it, and you can access it from the other side. Now come around to the front part of the Jeep again, where you can see the steering column has come through. You're going to line up the steering wheel with those tabs and push it through. This slot here should be on top of the steering wheel. Now you take your pin and insert it through the hole in the steering column. Pull the steering wheel out, and that'll hold it in place. Just like that. Now take your steering cap and your 2 long screws. There is also a tab on here that lines up with this hole. Push that in place and then insert the 2 screws. and tighten with the drill. Now to secure the steering column onto the vehicle, we're going to push the steering wheel up into the hole, and it should stay by itself. Come to this portion. This steering column should come up through this hole. If not, you'll just have to work it up into it. You are now going to use the steering cap. Make sure when you put this on that you put it facing the top of the vehicle. It just makes it easier to access the screw hole for it. Put the screw in, start it with your finger, and then finish it with the drill. Alright, so now for one of the final steps of assembly, we're going to flip the Jeep all the way over. Now we have to secure the roll bars. We're going to use the last 4 pointy screws, and those are used to, like I said, secure the roll bar. There's one there, and then there's one in the corner behind the wheel. Repeat it for both sides. Final steps is just assembling the last of the accessories to the vehicle. These just slip right into the tabs. Push down. You now have the hood latches. These can be a little bit tricky. All you do is slip them in there and then twist them from the bottom. See, I'm not going to help her. That's all there is to that. Then the key goes into the hole on the dash. Alright, now all that's left is putting on decals, and we are finished with the building of the Jeep. Alright, this is what the Jeep looks like when it's finished. I'll take you around to show you where some of the stickers are. Alright, so now we'll show you how to put up the bracket at Kmart. Alright, so inside the Darko box you have these 2 brackets. One's labeled left and one's labeled right. What I suggest you do is flip the vehicle like this. When you're looking at it, the left bracket goes on that left tire. The way you do this is you put the bracket right to there and then feed this cable tie through this hole down around the axle of the vehicle, back up through this other hole, and then just tighten it onto the vehicle. It doesn't have to be super tight. This is fine right there. Trim this and repeat for the right side. Alright, so here's the 2 brackets installed on the vehicle. The reason I said that you want to kind of have a little bit of play in this is because if you tighten it too much, it angles this down and it's hard to fit onto the crossbar. So leave a tiny bit of play in those cable ties. Being a typical Kmart store, we had kind of a unique situation here. We have the new style fixtures on this back wall, and then the old style fixtures on all of these side panels. My advice to you is if you can get it on the back wall with these and you don't need to go try to find those adapters, then definitely do it on this back wall. The instructions tell you to mount this crossbar at the top of the fixture. I use the top of the pegboard as my guide. And then this shelf is 31 slots down from the very top of that crossbar. When you mount these brackets to the shelf, line them up to the side of the shelf, and the wheel should fit directly in here when you put the vehicle up. These are simply held on with 4 screws on each bracket. As you can see, the tires fit right into those slots. Make sure that this bumper guard is on top of that shelf. You can now see how the brackets fit that crossbar in the back. On both sides, it is now secure. So this is what the end fixture looks like. Up on that wall, you now find those yellow things to put down below it. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Good luck.